All right, doing our second video of systems of equations, AA10, looking at solving question number 3. So make sure you watch question number 1. I do most of my explaining of each step of how to do it for number 1 and number 2. We're going to kind of not really rush through these, but I'm not going to do as much explaining. I want you to try to work the questions. So pause the video, work the question, see if you get the same answer. All right, looking at number 3. You should notice that 2 of these are the same number. So we're not going to worry about the x's right now. We're going to worry about the y's. We're going to change one of the y's because they can't both be negative. One has to be negative, one has to be positive. So we're going to change one of the y's. Which one do you want to change? This is what I would do. I'd look over my x, and I'd say, hey, okay, which one of you guys is going to give me a positive number? Well, if we change the -9, that will give us a bigger number as the x. That's what we want. So I would change the bottom myself. It doesn't matter. You'll get the same answer if you change the top. It's just easier because it will be positive numbers, and I know how much most people don't like negatives. So change this by multiplying everything by -1. So this will give us a positive 5x or 5y. This will give us a positive 9x, and this will give us instead of being -13, will give us a positive 13 now. So everything's positive on the bottom. Everything up here is negative except for the 1. So now, old school add and subtract like we've been doing. So I'll throw that in there just for giggles. And then we have 9 and -7. That gives us 2. Don't forget your x. And then these will cancel, which is what you want. And then we have 1 and 13, which makes, of course, 14. And then divide by 2. Let's put the 7 on the wrong side. So x is going to give you 7. Okay, so divide by 2. Just kind of show you what we did. So x will give you 7. Now remember, that's not your answer. That is part of your answer. So we're going to throw in our coordinates here. X is 7. And so it goes first since the x technically comes first and the y comes second when you graph. Now, plugging this back in, we got to plug it back into the original problem. So since you didn't change this one, that's the one I'd probably plug it into. So -7 times 7. Subtract your 5y, because we're looking for your y now. You already know your x, so you're looking for your y. 7 times 7 is 49. Negative times a positive is a negative. And then now we have -5y equals 1. So we're going to add our 49, because we want to move it to that side to get the y by itself. So we get -5y. Got to bring down that little minus sign. It's not a minus. Remember, I've told you in the past, try to look at numbers as negatives and positives. Don't look at them as adding and subtracting. It makes life a little bit easier for when you get older. All right, and then 1 plus 49 is obviously 50. Now we're going to divide by -5. Divide by -5. And so you're going to get y equals -10. So you go back up here, -10. Okay?